With you all here today with me and my team. Also sad that this is the last one, but like I mentioned, we're hoping to do more of these with you. This is just many more to come. I'm even more excited to introduce you to our final Cxnnect series speaker, Alvin, who I've had the pleasure and privilege of being able to work with on a couple of other events, including our In the Community event, Justice, if you remember that back in June. Alvin also participated in that. And so he's going to teach us a lot about how to gamify an esports tournament. And he's building off of the work that we've actually also done last year with JT on how to organize a tournament. So this is our second level to that talk in that series. So I'm excited to introduce him. Before we get started, we'll do a quick round of introductions, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Riot Games before I officially pass the mic over to Alvin. So I'm Victoria Sanchez. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm on the diversity inclusion team here at Riot, where I lead all of our D&I strategic partnerships. So I execute and manage workshops like this in partnership with community, in partnership with incredible leaders like Justice. So I'm thrilled to be with you all here today, and I'll pass it over to my other incredible Rioters who are here on this call supporting, including Sam Garcia. I'll pass the mic over to you to introduce yourself.
Hi, folks. It's wonderful to be back for the conclusion of this webinar series. Again, huge shout out to Justice, her team at Community, for being able to hold the space for us. My name is Sam. I use she, her pronouns as well, and I'm a university recruiter here at Riot, doing a little bit of tech support in the background for Alvin this afternoon. And I'll kick it over to you, Alvin.
Thank you. My name is Alvin. I use pronouns he and him. So I am one of the senior engineers at Riot Esports. And I will start sharing my screen. So before I hand it back to Victoria to talk a little bit about Riot at large. So yeah, I'm Alvin. Welcome to how to gamify a tournament on behalf of Esports Technology R&D at Riot Games. So I will hand this off to Victoria now. 1 second. There we go.
Awesome. So as you know, this is, I'm sure a couple of you have already been in some of our other workshops. This is our mission at Riot Games, right? We were founded in 2006, and with the goal and the aspiration to be the most player-focused game company in the whole world. And Alvin, if you can go to the next slide. So we started off with League of Legends, our key game in 2009, but ever since then, as you can kind of see from the screen here, we've published so many other games since then, everything from Teamfight Tactics to the Legends of Runeterra, to Wild Rift. We've even extended ourselves into the entertainment sphere with our Emmy Award-winning series Arcane. Drop it into the chat. Which one is your favorite Riot game? How many of you have seen Arcane? What are you all playing from Riot? We have some Valorants in the chat. I'm seeing Valorants, League of Legends. Yes, Valorant. It's Valorant strong today. Oh my gosh. Okay, Teamfight Tactics. Yes, League of Legends, Valorant. We love to see it. Yes. Oh, Sam. Yes, listening to New Jeans. Yes. We are also, speaking of New Jeans, kind of a incredible music company. We have collaborated with so many incredible artists, right? Like Lil Nas X, like New Jeans, with our New Worlds anthem that just dropped by them, Imagine Dragons, KDA. There are so many different incredible music artists that we've collaborated with and that we're continuing to do that. I love it. I see some KDA love in the chat as well. So that being said, we've come a long way and we've developed so many other incredible experiences for our players, including all of the music that's come out of the space, as well as the shows like Arcane, ever since, as I mentioned, 2009. So if you can go to the next slide, Alvin. One of the things that makes Riot super special, as I've mentioned before, is the incredible people that work at Riot, including Sam and Alvin. Here at Riot, we have something called our Riot inclusion groups. So how many of you were ever a part of any clubs or organizations at your school? Maybe it was the Latin American Student Organization, any kinds of clubs or organizations that you're a part of. So here at Riot, we have something very similar. At other companies, they're called employee resource groups. Here at Riot, they're called our Riot inclusion groups, or RIGs for short. And they're really supportive communities based on shared goals that the members from the group have that will really create a sense of belonging and a sense of shared goals. And so here at Riot, as I mentioned, we have 7 of them. And Rioters have the opportunity to join any of these pre-existing rigs, not only to just connect with their peers, but also as an opportunity to influence our products. That being said, I think that's something incredibly unique about Riot is that our rigs have helped us influence the design choices for our games. So how many of you have ever heard of Neon from Valorant, or played Gecko from Valorant, or maybe Senna in League? So all of these agents and champions, our rigs have played a significant role in their character development for both our champions and our agents. And they've had that opportunity to influence the design of them, which is really exciting and incredible. Alvin, if you can go to the next slide. And now I really want to pass the mic over to Sam, who is incredible and leads our internship program with her and her team. We work very closely together because she has some special announcements about our internship program. Sam?
Yes, so just a quick announcement. So again, we are actively looking for folks that are looking to graduate in 2025 or 2026 to apply for the summer 2024 internship program here at Riot Games. It is a remote program, so you can be located anywhere in the world as long as you are enrolled as a collegiate student. We are currently have applications open for software engineers, UX design, game production, as well as game design. And then on November 1st, we are rolling out additional roles for all of our graduate students, also our art and creative roles. So I'll drop a couple links down below for you all to peruse as well. One, to apply formally to our roles, but also to give community a little bit of a heads up that you are interested, a part of this organization, and want to apply for those internship opportunities.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. And now, with further ado, I would love to pass the mic over to Alvin. Alvin, take us away on your presentation.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. So one of the slides that Victoria shared earlier was, our mission statement, like our aspirations to being the most player-focused game company in the world. And it trickles down to like everything we do at Riot. And I'll give you a little kind of snapshot into how it looks within Riot Esports. So I'm part of a team called Esports Technology R&D, and our mission statement is to make it easier and more rewarding to be a fan of Riot's esports. But before I go into kind of more detail on what that means, I'll give y'all a little intro to me. So I'm Alvin. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I see a lot of students here. I'm also a student. I am a master's student at Kennesaw State, pursuing software engineering. So I'm a Georgia folk, go Owls. And I've been a software engineer for around 10 years now, historically, mostly in early stage startups, just like building things from the ground up. And so the most recent startup I worked at was actually called Kanga. We focused on making it better to be a fan of your favorite esports teams and content creators, which sounds pretty similar to that mission statement I just showed you of Riot Esports Technology. And that's actually why I'm here, is those shared values and passion. We kind of realized it was a good fit, and Riot acquired us in 2021. And I continue working on that vision here for Riot Esports. And so now, what do I do at Riot? So I'm one of the senior software engineers here, and I am the tech lead of our little game called Pick'em. We help players feel more rewarded to be a fan of our esports by letting them predict what they think will happen during our tournaments, esports events, and receive in-game rewards for doing so. And kind of like my role really falls into two buckets at a high level. One, there's a really technical aspect of, we serve players all over the world, and there's a lot of engineering that happens behind the scenes to do so. So I have to make sure that our systems are ready to do that. And also as a tech lead, I also help ensure that all the other engineers on my team are set up for success. So there's also like a people side as well. I need to think, hey, what do I need to do best to make sure the engineers on my team can do best? Ultimately, to just bring player value through our products. So I don't know if y'all have ever played something like Pick'em. I'm going to run through some quick screenshots to help y'all visualize before I go into the building blocks of how this works. So this is actually what it looks like for League of Legends esports last year, Worlds 2022. Like I said before, we let players guess what they think is going to happen in the event. And depending on what actually happens, you get points. And depending on how many points you get to see how you're doing relative to everyone else in the world. And if you're one of the lucky 100 players that are doing the best, we'll even showcase you on the site. You are there for like the ultimate kind of flex. Get to say, hey, out of all these millions of players, I am number one, or stuff like that. And ultimately, depending on how you score throughout the tournament, you get rewards like skins, capsules, currency, all kind of to connect your fandom and knowledge of our game to the game. So I'll walk you through kind of the building blocks because we do it here, but it is a very kind of awesome way to let fans, players, just anyone feel another level of investment in your kind of like esports events. Doesn't matter if it's Riot, could be your collegiate esports club. These are things that are like pretty universal building blocks if you want to do something like this. And so we like to look at it at like 4 different kind of buckets. And first you need to set up questions for players to kind of pick on. And depending on the game, we look at it in one of these 4 lenses. Maybe it's team-based questions like, hey, which team do we think is going to win the shortest game? Or do we think team A is going to beat team B? Those kind of questions. Maybe it's specific players. Not all games are team-based. Which player is going to play the most different champions, or which player will have the best KDA by the end of the tournament? That's those kind of questions. And then we've also got, we call it playable. It's because every game calls it different. It's agents, champions, legends, characters, whatever. And these are really like, hey, which really specific to the character. So think Senna, think Cassante, think Gecko, Neon, like those kind of questions. Like, hey, will Cassante be the most picked champion? Or which will Maokai, like who will be picked used in the most different roles at Worlds? Those are the kind of questions that you could think of there. And last, we just call them event, and these are just, hey, things that can happen in the event. And maybe you want players to guess, hey, just things that can happen. How many pentakills, aces, thrifties? Like it's pretty universal building block. Like every game has things that can happen. And ultimately, you just want to think about, depending on what the game is, what are the most like resonant questions that you think like your fans will really want to invest in. Okay, so next, let's talk about rewards. Every game should feel rewarding. So this is a big component that we think about, and for any pick'em, frankly. And we think about it in two ways. You've got participation rewards, we call it, as well as performance rewards. So for participation, we want to incentivize, all our fans to play, have fun, like have like that feeling of investment. So these are those rewards for like, hey, you come and you play, here's X, Y, or Z. Maybe it's a new emote or something, just to say thank you for even investing your time to try this thing we built or organizing. And we also want to reward the fans that are really knowledgeable about the state of the game or sport. And so that's kind of this is like that graph I showed you where we showcase the best, the people that know the most about League of Legends, and that's those rewards go to those people. And for example, we'll even have like a special reward every year for the top 5,000 players in the world of like just the absolute best things that we can give. But there's a few things that we consider, and if you organize something like this, you really want to consider when it comes to rewards. One, it's a big one, is they need to be meaningful. They need to resonate with the players of the game or the sport. The rewards should kind of scale with how well they're doing. Like you don't want to just give out your best rewards to everyone, or just like really maybe not like resonant rewards for like the person that number one person should probably get something really cool. And ultimately though, the goal is to connect that player's fandom and investment to the game. So it would be kind of weird if you were like, hey, you did so good at League of Legends, here's some Valorant points. So that's kind of there. And ultimately too, you're organizing something, it needs to be feasible. You want to think about how you do it in a sustainable way. There's costs. Are they appropriate for like, your target audience? Are they easily distributable? How many people do you think you're going to give rewards to? These are things you need to think about as you construct your like reward plan. And these are kind of the people that make it happen at Riot. So, Riot Esports ultimately delights millions of fans all over the world. Games like Pick'em, they're just one piece of the pie. There are so many like moving parts behind the scenes. So this slide doesn't come close to conveying just the various roles that across esports and across Riot at large. But it does highlight the kind of people I work with every day and kind of their challenge areas. So I didn't want to go too into the nitty gritty, but these are kind of like the high level, what you focus on. So you could be a product manager. You're really thinking about the strategy and direction of the thing you own, or a producer. We want to deliver X by Y date. How do we construct our roadmaps? Like, how do we allocate work? You've got UX designers. How should it feel, for our players? Like, what kind of players are we expecting? Visual design artists. What should it look like? Does it meet like the quality bar that we set for ourselves? And lastly, people like me, the engineers, we just build the tech that powers it. And now I kind of want to take the opportunity to let all of you kind of imagine your own pick'em. You will be kind of broken out into your own breakout rooms, and just introduce yourself to your group, and together think what game would be really cool to make a pick'em for. what kind of questions would you want your players to kind of answer? What kind of rewards do you think they should get for playing and doing really, really well? And when we're back, it would be really awesome if we could see one or two people to kind of share what they came up with, them and their groups came up with.
Yes.
And now
I'm super excited because this is, out of all of our Connect series up until this point, this is the first one that has been this interactive. So Alvin specifically made sure that he had an interactive presentation for all of us to not only get real-time feedback, but also for us to kind of like brainstorm collectively as a group. And I'm sure if you are applying for one of these Riot internships, this is just going to help you with that. How did this person step up within this group? How did this person come and say that I wanted to present? When I say 3 touch points for someone to remember your name or organization, this is what I'm talking about. So when you go into your breakout rooms, no pressure to anyone, but if anyone feels that they could kind of lead the conversation, that is what we're looking for. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so much. Awesome, awesome. I'm going to give a little sidebar during this time to say I was hopping in throughout all of them or throughout the presentation of you all kind of collaborating. Man, you all are so smart. Not even just smart, but so creative, innovative, and you're utilizing your real world, real time experiences to then create this, the narrative that needs to be created. And super big and huge shout out to Alvin for creating this outline of what it is. Like, hey, let's focus on these things first before we can go anywhere else. How about these specific things? Because even looking at those specific questions, when we're talking about, like what's the demographic, what's the pricing, and like what are the benefits of this, all of that, that also, and I'm just speaking from my experience because I don't know jack squat about an actual tournament, but what I do know and am very well versed in is operations. For me to be able to close a contract with a sponsor or a brand, I need to know these things as well. To then say, okay, well, hey, Coca-Cola, you're coming in. Perfect. But please keep in mind, we have a prize pool of this. We want to ensure that the students get this type of experience. We want to ensure that this type of technology or this type of resources are being provided. So thank you so much, first and foremost, to Alvin. Thank you, Alvin, for creating this prompt. Thank you for creating this interactive session, which we have not had up until this. And I also think with this session and workshop specifically, it was perfect for the demographic, right? Like, what am I going to have somebody do? Compose a music score within the next 5 to 10 minutes? No, this is something that if you know about this, if you've been in these spaces, these arenas, if you have experience in this, you can probably answer these 3 questions very quickly on your own. But what does it look like when I work in a group? What does it look like when we're collaborating and we're thinking about which is exactly what you would have to do if and when you get an internship, a job, or anything like that? So this is an amazing opportunity. That was just my little soapbox in that moment. But I wanted to thank everyone for not only breaking out, but those people. And I want to say from each section of me being in them, there were 5 people in each of those groups or breakouts that were consistently speaking, all the way down to, I'm sure some people also were jotting down notes and being able to like revise things. So thank you all so much. Alvin, did you want to lead this or you want me to lead it?
I think you lead, and I'll jump in.
I'm here for it. Okay, so let's do group 1. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about it and what did you all come down to? And just for awareness, the 3 questions that we were answering. What game is your pick'em for? What kind of questions would you give players? And then what kind of rewards would you give those players? So group 1, breakout room 1. Who wants to go ahead and talk? Yes, Victoria was breakout room 1. Sam was breakout room 2. And then Alvin was breakout room 3, for everyone's awareness.
So in my breakout room, let's see, we had Jonathan and Chris and Lavender, Nikhil, couple of other folks. Do any of you want to share? There were some great conversations.
I would be more than happy to share if that's okay.
Of
All
course.
right, Jonathan, yes, take it away.
Let's go, Jonathan Smart.
Thank you. So the game that we all landed on was Valorant. We had a few people in there that kind of talked up, and we kind of decided that maybe Valorant was something that's more recent as Riot Esports goes. And for I'm going to pull up the questions here on my end. For the questions that we would give players, we were thinking about basic questions like thinking about the score, voting on the score of a match, like the amount of utility being thrown, which player had the most first bloods, which player had the highest average combat score, and also utilizing like in-game jokes and in-game memes within the community, like the 9-3 curse. How many times are people gonna come back from a 3-9 deficit? And maybe we could even get stats on that and post it to the community. It might be really good insights. We were also considering maybe even trivia about maybe gun damage, trivia about the maps, places where kind of like heat maps of where people are peaking and dying most on maps. Just stuff like that concerning stats in game, trivia about the in game, and maybe even utilizing those community memes to kind of really tie people in.
Awesome. When I say you all literally had what maybe 8 minutes to do this. So first and foremost, this showed not even first. What I first want to do is say, Jonathan, thank you. Thank you for it takes confidence, it takes courage, it takes a little bit of self-esteem to sit here and say, I'm going to go ahead and present for our entire group. So Jonathan, big kudos. Look, this is the Riot, like, yay, great job. So great job, Jonathan, for doing that. Thank you for presenting for your group, because we know it wasn't just you, it was a collective effort. So thank you for group one, for you all combining and figuring out what that looks like. But also thank you all for brainstorming and figuring out what does this look like for, and especially like we know different demographics require different things. Different demographics require different touch points. So you're taking this from a league standpoint. You're understanding what those players are needing, wanting, and what they would respect in that regard as well. So thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for Breakout Room 1 for you presenting this amazing kind of like breakout room presentation. Anything as far as the Riot Games side, if you all wanted to comment on anything that Jonathan said.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that stood out that I absolutely love is when you said, hey, utilizing memes or like really like in the community things like the 3-9 curse, like folks know that, like, and kind of leaning into those memes, like it's a really great way to like let like our players know that like we know the memes as well. We're in it for the memes too, and we do that, and we already do that in some cases. Like LCS, there's a player known for getting the crabs, so people are counting how many crabs he has. So it's a really great way to like kind of connect like that like community fandom to the game. So great stuff, Jonathan.
Awesome. I love this. Alvin, again, thank you so much for these breakout rooms and the interactiveness. Okay, breakout room number 2. That was with Sam Garcia. Who wants to go ahead and speak up for this?
I'll go ahead, and I'll also post some notes in the chat for reference.
That's my dance. That's my dance. I'm like, okay.
All right, and I do want to mention, Jonathan, that's a really good idea for memes. I wish we thought of that. That's a great idea. So our pick'em is for League of Legends. And in terms of the questions we're considering, we consider questions such as what skin line is the most popular in Worlds? How long into the game would the first kill happen? Will there be a pentakill in the game? And in terms of rewards, we had so many ideas for rewards, exclusive to the pick'em. So we mentioned that maybe not all, but most rewards should be exclusive to this pick'em, where you can't get them outside of the pick'em event. So we're thinking about skins, currency for an exclusive pick'em shop, special emotes, special war cries. Shout out to Joao for that idea. I think it's a really cool idea. Special loots, icons, and an event or battle pass discount. As a group, we discussed these rewards, and we just said, hey, as players ourselves, we'd love to see these in the game. And we know that the special war cries may not exist in game already, but we're thinking that if they are introduced, they could be introduced in the pick'em, and then if they work out well, so research is done, interviews conducted, that could be put in the main game for everyone to enjoy. So yeah. Thank you to my group. We had a great conversation about this, and I think we have a great result.
Yes. First and foremost, and tell me how to pronounce your name, because I want to say it correctly.
D'Angela.
D'Angela, thank you so much, because first and foremost, you came in and you had the notes already prepared, dropped it into the chat, but also you and your team came together as a collective and said, these are the main points that we want to highlight. Yuksun, hopefully I said that right. Your hand is up. Did you have something to add?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we're the same group. Thanks, Angela. And just come up with another great questions that may be maybe useful. So just reminded by last year's World Tournaments of League, we see that Guma Yushi stole a lot of Dragon's resources. So given that the different contests, like the player reputation or their previous performance in games, I'm thinking that given those contexts, we may come up with some questions like, for players' games that are matched in the World Tournaments, how many dragons will be stolen by him this year? This kind of questions might even make the fans more activated and more likely to join our pick'ems and put out their answers and get the rewards. Yeah, I just add something like what I come up with from mind. Yeah.
Awesome. No, that's great. And it's great context also to add, as we have literally we did this in 10 minutes and then also reviewing it. So all of that is great context to add. And I think that your group, just by chiming into it, I was like, I hear it. I hear also the collaboration that you all had. So thank you so much. Alvin, did you have anything to add to Group 2's presentation?
Yeah, so one of the things that really stood out was the, exclusive stuff for playing Pick'em. And this is actually a really great way to connect the idea that Jonathan had for Group 1, is we actually do that like now. So like we do have exclusive emotes specifically for Pick'em. And not only that, we lean into memes of past Pick'ems. So like last year we had I don't know if you've seen like the Eric Andre "Let Me In" meme when folks knew that Pick'em was about to open, and we were like, wow, that's such a cool idea. So this year, one of the rewards is actually Dr. Mundo doing the "Let Me In" emote. So yeah, great idea. It's literally, we combined both of your group's ideas for Worlds this year.
When I say you all be keeping this in mind, the person that works at Riot Games said what you created is something that they genuinely are already doing, but some things that you might have pointed out are things that they could improve on, especially from a user dynamic. You all are our audience, whether that's the college student aspect from our end or from the actual consumer of that product. You're letting us know that real-time feedback. So thank you. Okay, last but not least, Group 3. This was Alvin's group. And now they might have been showing off for you, Alvin. That's what I'm realizing, because Group 3, it was like right when it started, maybe they saw your name or something, but it was kind of like, it was fire, boom, boom, boom. So Group 3, who is going to be our presenter? What are your thoughts? Give me a 2 to 3 minute spiel.
I guess I can go. We kind of forgot what the questions were. So when it comes to what our pickup game is, we don't have one. We basically did both Valorant and League. I think the majority was like Valorant, but there was a lot of League stuff as well. In terms of questions, I sort of took a more holistic approach. And so we thought a lot about like, we wanted a system that included a lot of risk and reward when it comes to sort of predicting um, whether a team will win a round or not, for example. And so for example, like when it comes to thrifty rounds, a lot of people will probably predict that the team that has the most money, or if a team is on an eco, the team that with the most money, most people would probably predict that that team will win. But you can probably go against the grain and predict that, maybe this will be their thrifty round. Maybe they will, even with worse weapons, have a cooked up a strat and will be able to win that round. And we wanted to have a system that those sorts of predictions, if you happen to be of the minority, will be more rewarded and you would get more points for the stuff like that. And so we took inspiration from Twitch's system and basically, essentially, the proportional amount that, like, the proportion of people that like actually go with what you're predicting with, can influence how many points you earn and stuff like that. That was sort of the main thing we thought a lot about. For rewards, we thought a lot about ways to make it more unique than, just a sticker, just a gun buddy, because those are like sort of the obvious ones that anyone can. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. Anyway, so we thought about, okay, like the Z sticker was something that I think was really interesting because it was one of the few that have an audio attached to it. And so we thought like, would be cool if like, as well as having a logo, it would also play a small like team theme along with it. So which would be like pretty interesting, I think. And then another thing is like, you know how most guns, when you win a round, have a finisher attached to it when you sort of win. Okay, that was a terrible sentence. Anyway, so I think it would be really interesting. We thought like, as alongside of those finishers, obviously having a hologram similar to the Glitch Pop bundle, where you look up and there's like the Unico logo, as well as having like that team thing or whatever. It would also be useful for like, let's say you defuse the spike and the rounds ended, but there's no kills, there's no finisher. You could also include like a finisher option for defusing the spike as well, which wouldn't impact the game because the round's already over, but it would still add something more that would like, alongside the finisher that would already be for the team. You would also have an additional one for defusing the spike. That was like sort of the two main ideas we had. For League specifically, we thought ward skins with a little hologram would be pretty cute. I think like similar to the true damage one, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else I missed.
No, that was great, Henry. Thank you so much. Alvin, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, the thing that really stood out here was maybe you do want to go against the grain. Maybe like you want to like choose the answer that at the end of the day statistically may not be like the most probable answer, and going against the grain and like guessing right at those times, getting like outsized like rewards is a really really kind of cool call out, because for League of Legends fans, we saw last year, DRX had the Cinderella story from play-ins to world's champions. And if you looked at Pick'em last year, like I think it was like less than 10%. It was like in 1%, 2%, 3% maybe of people picked them every single round, but they were the ones that just kept winning. They were the ones at the end of the day were on the top 100 leaderboard because they believed in their team at all costs. So great idea.
Awesome. Okay. First and foremost, I want to say thank you so much again to Alvin for allowing students this opportunity to be able to not only brainstorm their ideas and work as a team, but also be able to utilize their experience, their expertise to be able to do this. This was an amazing, as I continuously keep saying, an amazing opportunity for our students to be able to understand what this looks like. What does it look like with me working in a group, but also what does it look like with me working with a Rioter in my group? Each of you all had access and the resource to a Rioter in your group. And I'm sure everyone did and utilized them as needed. So I am going to go ahead and ask two questions. Thank you, everyone that came and asked your questions into our form. My screen sharing is like a back and forth kind of thing. So let's try this once again, and then maybe I can do it like this. So first question, what is one thing you believe is a must-have to elevate a great esports tournament to an amazing one?
That is a great question. So one of my like favorite memories, I guess, working at Riot is Last Worlds. Like I think it was, the script department couldn't have gotten it better. And what takes it from like what it takes it from great to amazing. Like I alluded in an earlier slide that like this is just a snapshot of of a slice of esports. There are so many people, so many roles, so many kind of crafts that go into it. And what an amazing esports tournament looks like, in my opinion, is when you have it all in lockstep. So like a great example, like is you have all cylinders kind of firing in the same direction. And so like last year, just the world, like just the DRX story, like you felt that in broadcast. Like you not only felt that in broadcast, you felt that energy in the world ceremony. You felt that in like world's content that was put out. You felt that actually really awesome. Like the world's anthem was made before, like if you listen to the lyrics of the last world's anthem, it is describing DRX's story before the DRX story even happened. And for me, that was just, it will always remain like in my memory, be like, this is an amazing event. Like so many different people in so many different roles helped kind of drive this like thematic.
I love that. And that like, as especially in regards to the community name, the community brand, that's exactly what we show. I am literally, when I say you all probably look at me like, this girl, I hate you. Because I'm like, Bejeweled, Candy Crush, that's my game. You all are like, girl, little do you know, put me on some sticks, and next thing you know, it's over with. But in that regard, my lane, my focus is operations. It is event planning. It is bringing all of those sectors together. So you understand when you are running an esports tournament that it's not just you. It's not the tournament logistics. That's not all that matters. It's all of those scopes, the specs, and also the data collection that is needed from all of these departments to then make that great event. What does my content capturing look like? How many TikTok reels or videos is it that I'm going to create to get that engagement? What are the hashtags for this event? Where is each place or each tournament vendor booth going to be located? All of that is necessary to then create a memorable esports tournament. Some of these are virtual, some of them are hybrid. So then you have to think of it even deeper. What is going to create that engagement point when I am talking to somebody like this? So when I do open up the conversation of saying, hey, everybody, go ahead, change your name. Go ahead and make sure that that is an engagement point for me. Then to understand, well, who's engaging now? Who is going to be responsive? Who's going to make sure that they are kind of going to be the forerunners of this conversation? That helps as well when you go into the deep dive planning to then make it a memorable expense, whether that's from the player experience, whether that's from our partners experience, or from us as the organization. If I decide as an operations manager to allow my 3 to 5 person team to run a 15 match tournament over 13 to 24 hours, my team is going to be worn out. These are things that we have to think about to then create that memorable experience, because my team might then say, I'm never doing a tournament with Justice again. What then created that memorable experience? I gave them 15-minute breaks every 3 hours. I gave them lunch breaks. All of that comes into it. And this is just me speaking from an operations perspective, not to mention the actual tournament organization, the lower thirds, the streaming, the content. All of that makes it a memorable experience. So hopefully, Alvin, I added a little bit of fairy dust is what I'm learning from your team. But yeah, that's how I feel as well. So last but not least, in one of the slides, Alvin, you mentioned 4 core factors to consider, i.e. teams, events, For pick'ems, because it helps fans create a meaningful connection, I'm just wondering, what are your opinions on adding narratives as a possible factor / category for pick'ems, i.e., which region / team will make an underdog run? Yes. Oh, see, this is why I'm the worst. Defeats, deaths, I'm the worst. World's run. The response behind this is because that is something the broadcast team focuses on here, and it can make you care about the games. But I hope you understood what the question was trying to ask.
Yeah, and I actually think this like really ties a lot of the like ideas and feedback that like all the groups have put together. Because I think that's a great idea. Like I'll keep going back to Last Worlds. We saw how powerful like narrative is. It is like year over year, it's a very powerful driver within esports. You could see it broadcast, it people, care more. And this ties into like that whole idea of like maybe you do want to go against the grain. Maybe like statistically, region will win, but like, I'm from this other region. Like I want to see the day they win. I want to be able to say I was there. I stood by them the whole time when it happens. We know, like, we realize that's such a powerful driver, and frankly, I think it is like a very great idea to add into something like Pick'em.
And this question, based off of, you understand this question, Alvin. On my end, I'm like, you understand it. So, but based off of the question and how your response is, especially the questions that we've been getting, the feedback during this session, the engagement that's been during this session has been real-time feedback. You all are taking this from an experience that you might have already been through, or you're trying to prepare yourself, right, for getting into a position like where Alvin is right now, or where certain rioters are right now. And the best way for me to do that is get that real-time feedback from somebody that's in that position. So I appreciate this question for that, because you deep dived into something that is very particular, but also is a game changer if you know what that differentiation is and what would advance you and make you separate from anybody else that would either set up an esports tournament or even show the data collection points that need to be given to a person like Alvin that is going to recruit you as an intern or as an actual employee. You can then speak to that narrative. So thank you so much for asking this question. Thank you everyone that submitted these questions. Once again, big shout out to Alvin for coming on to this and not only skipping through slides and talking through the slides. You came in and you said, hey, there's something that I know that is tangible for these students, people, this audience to be able to gain. But the best way for you to gain that, especially in my position, as I said, in parallel, I can't ask somebody to compose something within a 10-minute time frame, right? But knowing that you are in the space that you're in, it's like I can have students answer these 3 questions, or this audience answer these 3 questions, and then it helps them go through the process even more of how to gamify a tournament. So thank you so much, Alvin. I actually would love if any rioters would like to give any last words. Please feel free. Right now is the time. I just wanted to make sure I shouted out Alvin because you're so awesome, and thank you so much.
So many shout outs to give for this final one. First, shout out to community and the whole team and our 2-year partnership. Jay, Daria, Denise, Rodney, Justice. It takes literally a community to put these together. It's been an incredible 2 years. We hope to continue this programming that's free and open to all of you in 2024. And finally, shout out to all of you for being here in this space, for participating in everything from our Community Connect series to our career fairs, to our conferences, to our in-person events. We've accomplished so much together this year. There's more programming to come, and our programming, like I've mentioned in other workshops, is just a great way and an opportunity for you to get connected in the community with Riot staff and level up your skills in gaming and career development and make meaningful connections and relationships with us in the industry. So thank you all for being a part of this series, and we'll see you hopefully next week at the kickback.
Yeah, I just want to like kind of mirror what Victoria says. Thank you all so much for finding the time and all the engagement. I want to like just piggyback that a lot of these ideas that y'all came up with are like either already in the works, maybe in the works, or are already here. So like just want to like let you know, great ideas come from everywhere, and y'all already on track. Y'all already have the right mindset. So thank y'all.
Well, thank you all so much once again. And when I say first and foremost, we will be sending all recaps, any recorded videos that we have, we will be sending them out to you as well. And the main sessions that were recorded were our last week, our this week as far as our gamifying esports, and then last week as far as the personalities within gamification. So please make sure that you look out for those. As a reminder, next week, October 12th on Thursday, 10 a.m. until the wee hours in the morning, please come out to our event, the Kickback ATL Atlanta. It will be at the Eastern. Super excited for everyone to be able to join us. Even if you're out of state, that's a quick drive. Come on down, visit us, come say hi to our rioters, also ourselves. It's an amazing opportunity where we'll have those top hitters within the industry giving you those key points and those key tips. But also you'll be able to meet some of these people. When I say you want to meet Bridget, you want to meet Bridget. And so we're super excited. Victoria will be there and Sam will be there as well. Seth, I think, is going to be there. So we're super excited to see everyone. So please make sure that you follow us on all of our socials. You'll see it there. And then also, please make sure that you are tuning into your emails, because we will be sending out a recap email for you all to fill out our exit survey, also for you to see the recordings, but then to sign up for the kickback that will be happening next week. As Victoria mentioned within this meeting chat, what I will end it off with is, I'm kind of sad. What I will end it off with is, thank you all so much for joining us. We have enjoyed this series. It's been amazing. Big shout out to Victoria Sanchez, and I'll just say it to myself as well, and Justice Miranda for making this Connect series happen, and also bringing our in-person live event in the community LA in deeper detail to this Connect series. We made something, and it was intentional, of us making something that was in person to something that we could deeper dive into with those industry professionals that was available to any and everyone. We've had people from the UK join, and we've had people from Africa join. We've had people from across the US join, just to say, we are here, we are listening, and we want this information. So Victoria, Justice, thank you so much. We did this, and so many more to come. This is not just it. Please don't forget to apply for the Riot internships. Do not forget to reach out to us if you all need anything. We always say our LinkedIn is available for you all to reach out and see if you have any other resources or needs. But that is it. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you next week, and enjoy your Friday Junior. I love to always say it's not Friday yet. It's Friday Junior. So still make sure that you go to class or wherever you need to go to tomorrow, because I still have to log into this computer and be at work. So you all have to do the same in some way. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much, Alvin. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Daria. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Em. Thank you so much from the community team as well for being on this with me. And we'll see y'all later. Have a great day. Happy Thursday. Thank you, everyone. I'm like tears. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.